The Golden Cross Bitcoin Bull Trap. Is there any truth to this notion? Stay tuned to know more. So hi guys and welcome back to another Gab's cryptocurrency video where we trade by data and not by hype. And in this video, we're going to debunk and understand if are there any truth to this Golden Cross Bitcoin Bull Trap. If you find this content useful and informative, please give this video a like. So let's start this video first by defining what is a Golden Cross. And then let's dive into the different Golden Crosses in history. And then after that, let's debunk the different Golden Crosses based on this Golden Cross Bitcoin Bull Trap, which this data is telling us. So let's start first by defining what is a Golden Cross. So basically, a Golden Cross is wherein the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average, indicating that it would start the next market cycle or somewhat of a next phase ng market cycle. So ngayon, so the two requirements being said are it should be the 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average. And that would mean that that is the first criteria of defining a Golden Cross. And then the second defining factor is it should be at the start of a phase ng market cycle. So those are the two key factors. It should be a 50-day crossing above the 200-day moving average. And it should also be starting the next phase of a Bitcoin market cycle. So with that being said, let's dive into the different Golden Crosses in history. So right now we have our recent Golden Cross in this area. And then we had another Golden Cross before dito. So let's try to draw this Golden Cross. Another one. And this is another Golden Cross. Let's go back further. Let's go back to this Golden Cross. Now you could actually say that this is somewhat na twin na Golden Cross since these two Golden Crosses started a bull market for the long term. This is another Golden Cross. And then let's go back further. Now you could actually say that this is also a Golden Cross since we started the bull market in here, and look at that, the 200-day moving average actually did not printed in this area yet since the first 200 days of data was not yet available during this time. So that's why we did not see any 200-day moving average forming or printing at this area. But nonetheless, since if you're going to follow the trend, it looked like it came from a Golden Cross. So we're going to include that one. So now we have indicated each and every Golden Crosses in history. Let's now understand what are the valid Golden Crosses in here. So the valid Golden Crosses in here is this one. So let's remove that one. This is another valid Golden Cross. So let's delete this one. This is valid. So let's delete it. And this one is another valid Golden Cross. So right now, we are left with the Golden Crosses in history that did not start a bull market or is still in play. So now let us remove the Golden Cross that is currently in play, and that is this Golden Cross. So let's remove that one. And now we are left with this Golden Cross. Now let's copy the Golden Crosses that is mentioned in this area. So as you can see, we have this Golden Cross, the second, and then the third. So this is the first. Let's draw the second. Actually, sinasabi niya dito sa chart, the second Golden Cross was around after this market cycle top. So it would more likely be around this area. Yeah, somewhere at that area. And then lastly, the third Golden Cross that will actually lead to a Bitcoin bull trap was the last one, which is this area. So now let's identify those Golden Crosses. And let's debunk is that even a valid Golden Cross in the first place. So remember, the way how we define a Golden Cross is when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average. So that is the first criteria. So you can see that, yes, we can check that one out na it satisfied the first criteria. Now, the second criteria. Our second criteria is where the Golden Cross should be at the start of a market cycle phase. Now, let's understand, is this a start of a market cycle phase? Now, to understand if this is the start of a market cycle phase, let's dive into this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. So if you're new to this channel, the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve tells us the 4-year market cycle, and then it actually tells us where is the market cycle bottom and where is the market cycle peak. And it also indicates kung asang phase na ba tayo sa ating market cycle. Let's understand this 2014 market cycle. At what phase was this market cycle happening? Well, it's actually between 2012 up until the 2015 or 2014. So let's plot the chart from 2012 to 2014. So as you can see, this is 2012 up to the 2014 area. So you can actually see that this was our first market cycle. So yeah, let's draw this closer so that we can see it properly. So right now we have here the first market cycle na as seen in here. And you could actually see that this golden cross around July 28 or roughly between June to July, it happened at this area. So this is the June to July. You could actually see it's actually at the end of the market cycle. So you could actually see na this happened after the market cycle top. And as mentioned earlier, the way how we define a golden cross is it should be at the start of a market cycle phase. Now, is this a start of a market cycle phase? I don't think so. Because if you're going to look at that closely, it happened after a market cycle top. And of course, after a market cycle top, if we're going to look at the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve closely, after the market cycle top, it must go down to the market cycle bottom. In that case, the market cycle is currently in a bear market, indicating na it was never even the start of a Bitcoin bull market. So in the first place, this golden cross was never valid since it happened at the end of the market cycle and it was never at the start of a Bitcoin market cycle. So we can invalidate this one. So we have debunked this first golden cross as invalid and it was never really a valid golden cross in the first place. So now let's try to debunk this second golden cross. And if you're going to look at the historical data, there was never even a golden cross at this area. So we should now be questioning this chart. Is this even valid? We did not saw any golden cross in here. As you can see, the 50-day did not cross above the 200-day. So there was never even a golden cross in the first place to say na this was a golden cross Bitcoin bull trap. It's either that this chart is tampered or it's either the source used a different weight in his or her moving average. It's because if you're going to use different moving average, let's use 100. You could actually see that the moving average is actually moving and it did not properly follow the previous moving average. But yeah, you get the idea na it's either this data is tampered or the source is using a different weight in his moving average. So yeah, in this case, this is another invalid golden cross since it was never a golden cross in the first place. So now we have two golden cross Bitcoin bull trap that are invalid. Let's now try to understand this last golden cross, which this data is telling us that it caused a Bitcoin bull trap. Well, if we're going to look at this data, as you can see dito sa chart ko, we have already invalidated this multiple times ago. And it's because during this March 9, take note of the date guys, March 9, if you have been in any market for a long time, you would know that March 9 was actually the COVID-19 pandemic crash. So in this case, the main reason why I have invalidated this data way before and way long ago is because this data was caused by external factors and it was never caused by historical data telling us that it's going to go down. This one is actually caused by an event that is beyond the hands of the data alone. So in this case, this data was never valid in the first place. It's because this data did not came off following the historical data. So ayun lang pinaka basic concept dun. So yeah, it was never really a Bitcoin bull trap. So in that case, this golden cross was never valid also in the first place. So now we have debunked the 3 golden crosses bull trap in history. Let's try to understand where is this current golden cross happening. Well, of course, it certainly did not start at the start of the Bitcoin bull market. And of course, it did not certainly happen during a market cycle top because if you're going to look at this data, we were not yet at a market cycle top during the month of March to May. That was not even the Bitcoin market cycle top. And looking at this data too, the Bitcoin price was never at a market cycle top, indicating na we were never at the market cycle top for the Bitcoin price. Now, if you're going to look at this golden cross closely, the golden cross is happening before the second half of this Fibonacci logarithmic growth curve, indicating that we are about to start a second cycle, meaning na this is actually a local top and it's not actually a market cycle top. So now guys, we have debunked the 3 golden cross Bitcoin bull traps in history. And I think we can 100% say na the Bitcoin bull trap during a golden cross was never true or was never valid in the first place. It's because this golden cross happened during a market cycle top, so it was never a golden cross in the first place. The second golden cross, well, the second golden cross does not even exist. So yeah, there's no actually golden cross in this area. So there was never a golden cross at the second golden cross in the first place. And then lastly, the third golden cross Bitcoin bull trap crash was not actually caused by data, and it was actually caused by the COVID-19 pandemic market crash. So in this case, it was never even close to any valid golden crosses in history. So yeah, for me, this data is somewhat of a bull S na, yeah, it's actually BS kasi, yeah, they are all invalid talaga. So yeah, I don't have much things to say pa dito, but yeah, it's very invalid, and it does not really show any confluence with the data that is presented, especially dito sa moving average and as well as a Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. And yeah, and now the next question is, are we going to see a bull trap in this recent golden cross? Well, this is my honest opinion. I don't think na we're going to see a bull trap during this next golden cross. And why do I say that? Kasi if you're going to look at historical data, this so-called bull trap during a Bitcoin golden cross happened after a market cycle top. So this one was a market cycle peak, and then this one was a golden cross. Now, is this a market cycle peak or market cycle top? Let's look at the data and look at this. That was not even the market cycle top. It was actually more of a local top, indicating na we are not at the market cycle top yet, indicating that the market cycle is not yet finished. So yeah, yun yung honest opinion ko, and to add to that, you can actually see that this area is currently happening just below the halfway point of this logarithmic growth curve, indicating na it would actually or possibly start the second half of the Bitcoin bull market cycle. So yeah, in my honest opinion, I don't think that this is going to be a bull trap. And for me, to be honest, I think this would more likely play around this area for the coming days. So in this case, ang tingin kong pwede mangyari or pwede natin compare is magkakaroon tayo ng double cross during this area. So you could look at that historical data, we saw double cross. So I think dun yung magiging more likely mangyayari ngayon dito. So this would more likely be a double golden cross. So you would actually more likely see a cross one and then another cross. You could actually say that kasi, yeah, I think this is going to consolidate further before we see any massive pump to the upside. Pwede mangyari yun, or pwedeng isa lang yung maging golden cross natin dito. So you could actually say na we can only see one golden cross and then just consolidate dito and then pump to the upside, just like what we saw previously dito sa previous Bitcoin data. If you're going to look at this, we just saw this golden cross and then we just consolidated further. So you could actually say na we could actually imitate this golden cross to this area, or possibly we are imitating this other golden cross which happened at this area. So yeah, yun yung honest opinion ko. So I don't think na we are going to see a Bitcoin bull trap. I think personally na this is going to be a consolidation, and then this is a valid golden cross. And yeah, Bitcoin is just getting started. And if you're going to look dito sa chart, you can clearly see na it was never the end of the Bitcoin price, and it was never a Bitcoin bull trap in the first place. And of course, the golden cross Bitcoin bull trap chart is a total, I'm sorry to say this, but it's a total BS for me. So ayun guys, yun yung aking honest opinion dito, and I hope na debunk natin tong golden cross Bitcoin bull trap. So ayun guys, if you find this video useful and informative, please give this video a like. And if you want to see more contents like this, please subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video, and bye-bye for now.